Hello, my name is Kenny McCarthy, and this is another edition of the Cape Ann and North Shore Market Watch. My partners and I, Bob and Sue McDermott, and I like to talk about real estate. We work in the real estate industry. We live on the North Shore. We consider the North Shore to be the waterfront from Rockport, Gloucester, Manchester, Beverly, Salem, and Marblehead. And we love talking about it. So once a week, we get together and we put up on YouTube what's called the Cape Ann Market Watch. And this is the Fiesta edition, which I'll talk about in a couple of minutes. Before we get to the Fiesta, I wanted to mention a new video series that we have at Sotheby's International Realty, and that, by the way, is where we work. We're at the local office, which is by the Sea Sotheby's in Beverly Farms. And the company specializes in telling the story of your home because every home has a story and we want to tell it. Well, the video series that has just come out in the last 6 weeks or so is called House Guest. And I saw one this week that just absolutely blew me away with the photography and the colors. And basically what House Guest is Sotheby's invites artists to stay at different houses that are available for sale around the world. And they record the artists' impressions of the home and the area. These folks, Alicia and Jim Ward, are an underwater photography team, and they're at a property in Turks and Caicos. And there are a couple of other videos up here of other artists staying in other homes around the world. And it's beautiful. If you're interested in a little bit of what's happening elsewhere in the real estate market, by all means go to sotheby'srealty.com and check it out. So we'll bring it to a local level now, and let's talk about Fiesta in Gloucester. If you're from the area, you know that the last week of June is the St. Peter's Festival. You can get all this information, by the way, at stpetersfiesta.org. St. Peter was the patron saint of fishermen, and starting back in the 30s, the Fiesta was a religious festival that took place, and it's grown to a 5-day festival now with masses and bands and fried dough and the greasy pole. What's the greasy pole? Well, it's a pole, it's a telephone pole suspended over the outer harbor that is greased, and people try and walk from one end to the other and grab the flag. If you've never seen it, it's a lot of fun to watch. I actually have some video posted. If you go to YouTube/Kenny McCarthy and just search Fiesta, you'll see a boat ride through the cut bridge. You'll see the greasy pole itself. You'll see some of the seine boat races. These all take place on the outer harbor in Gloucester over the next 5 days. Parking is at a premium. If you come up Route 128, once you get off the highway at either exit, the exit right over the bridge or the further one up at Eastern Ave, any place from there into St. Peter's Square is open season on parking, and you're never more than 3/4 of a mile away from the festivities. So it's okay to park and walk in. If you can get into the fort, which is the residential neighborhood behind the St. Peter's Festival, you'll find the Beauport Hotel. And it is a favorite place. This is the hotel, the beach side, the Pavilion beach side. And there are 2 decks here, one here and one up above, that are great places to have some fried calamari, some dinner, a drink, and watch all the events that are going on in the harbor, the greasy pole, the seine boat races, etc. So make sure to check out the Beauport Hotel. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the real estate market in Gloucester and Rockport. We'll start with some sold statistics in Rockport and Gloucester, and I've kind of trended them the past year, which is June back to June of 16, and the prior year, which is June of 16 to June of 15, so that we get a little bit of a comparison. Rockport this past year, there have been 15 sales, And this is anything from 700,000 and up. I start there generally because that's where the water views start, is around 700,000 and up. Into the million, over a million and up, one can get waterfront in Rockport. There were 4 sales last year from $1.5 million up in 16-17 in Rockport. Let's take a look at what happened the year before that, from 15 to 16. There were 19 sales in that price range. So once again, we go back here. There were 15 this past year. There were 19 the year before. 2 sales the year before in the over $3 million range, and I don't believe there were any this past year. No, the most expensive property this past year was $2 million, just $2 million. The list price was $2,395,000, and the sale price was $2,175,000. So Rockport has slid a little bit from 16 to 17, say, with the number of sales. In Gloucester, different story in Gloucester. Gloucester's a little bit closer. It's a little closer to Boston. They got a little bit more going on. Rockport's kind of the end of the world, and it takes a hearty soul to live in Rockport all year round. Gloucester, on the other hand, let's see, we're looking at 15-16, there were 30 sales, and in 16-17, there were 35 sales. The 1 million to 2 million range in Gloucester, which will definitely get one terrific water view and usually waterfront. There were 15 sales. In the prior year, from $1 million to $2 million, there were 16 sales. Over $2 million in the prior year, there were only 3 sales. Over $2 million this past year, 4, 5, 6, 7 sales. So we're up 100%, over 100% in sales over $2 million in the Gloucester market. Let's now take a look at what's available. We'll do Gloucester first because we were just talking about Gloucester. So 2016 versus 2017. Look at the difference in total number of properties available for sale. And this is in the 500 and up price range. 70 last year. There are only 50 this year. The waterfront properties, say from $1 million up. This year there are 11, 14, 21, 25, 26 available. And last year there were 18, 28, and 5 is 33. 26 this year, 33 last year. So about, let's see, how's my math? 25% less this year than last year. So the Gloucester properties will have a premium on them if one is looking for $1 million and up. Under $1 million, last year there were 9, down to 800,000 will usually get you a view. There were 14, and there's only 8 on the market now. So wherever you may be looking in Gloucester, there is at least 25% less on the market right now than there was last year. Rockport, not so much. 33 on the market last year, 27 on the market this year, $1 million up, 5, 9, 10, 11 last year, and 12, 13 this year. So it's fairly consistent. 4 properties over $2 million, 6 over $2 million last year. Up 700 to $1 million, we'll say 10, 12 last year, and 5, 6 this year. So a little bit of competition in that price range. But if I were looking for a seasonal purchase on the North Shore in Gloucester or Rockport, I'd be shopping in Rockport right now because I think the purchasing opportunities are better there. That's if I don't care whether or not I have a sandy bottom under my feet, because there really aren't too many of those in Rockport, but there are in Gloucester. So that's the big picture real estate picture in Gloucester and Rockport and what's happened over the last couple of years. This has been another edition of the Cape Ann Market Watch. My name is Kenny McCarthy. You can find Bob, Sue, or myself by email at info@nshoremove.com. You can look at our website at nshoremove.com, or you can call me directly at 978-758-0983. Don't forget, it's Fiesta weekend. Have a great day.